I still love to think of the cylinders turning, watching the production. I love to stand by a printing press. And truly dumb as they'd say this, I like to smell the ink.
I'm a person that loves hearing about history, and to hear that Jack Schumann started this business in his basement, I could hear that story over and over again.
Son of a paper mill employee, but I always was a printer. By the time I was a small boy, I delivered newspapers. I liked the newspaper business. I went in cars at 9 years old to deliver papers in the resort country of Rhode Island, Wisconsin. I had a route and earned the Newspaper Boy of the Year award.
He actually went to every house that he delivered papers to and asked, where do you want the paper? If they wanted it on their kitchen table, that's where he'd deliver it.
And I liked printing all of my life. I had never had a job that wasn't related to that. Before I graduated from high school, Arlene and I, it's important to recognize her there. We were going to have a business together. We'd already planned for me to go to school to learn more about printing. The anniversary is 60 years, but 5 years before that, we started the printing company in my basement. I just came home from work one day, threw my keys against the wall, said I'll never work for anybody ever in my whole life from now on. Put on a good suit and went out, samples of printing I had done, and design work that I had done, and I got orders right away.
I mean, basically, he's out knocking on doors, selling business cards and letterheads and doing bank statements for some of the local banks. And it was him. You know, he was knocking on doors. He was a salesman, and he was the guy with the printing press, and he was the delivery guy.
I've heard the stories of how Jack and Arlene would host block parties to get people to help them get things done. It's like, well, we'll feed you and have a good time. We just got to get this over with. But I think there's part of that lore is like this magnetic energy that I think Jack and Arlene had at the founding, and hopefully we keep today, that people want to be here, they want to do good and be proud of what they do. And I think that for me rings true back to hopefully the beginning.
And I think in the early 70s, mid 70s, he put in his first larger sheet fed presses, and it kind of opened the doors and some bigger products, posters, some longer run stuff. So kind of, in addition to doing these letterheads and things for schools and banks, he kind of grew a little bit and doing some larger run stuff for the local community. But really, I think when he got this big major step is in the mid-'80s when we put in our first heat set web press.
At that time, we were very rural, so we ended up kind of transitioning to early web instead of sheet-fed presses, and with that allowed us to get into this catalog market that just wasn't meeting the need as far as production goes for printing. So that gave us that ability to start launching into that area, and it's just continued on from there and evolved to where it is today.
In the print world, we want to be known as a high-end, quality, service-oriented producer of print.
I love our business, and I have the finest employees you can get your hands on. I'll tell you that. Many, many years of work are still there.